Hi there, I'm Jack Van Ryn, Mayor of the Town of Coaldale. I will be giving you an update from our regular council meeting that was held May 24th, 2022. And the first item of business that came up was a delegation that we had attend council chambers, and that was from FCSS, and that's the Family Community Support Services that are currently located in the Hub building that's over by R.I. Baker School. In attendance, we had their executive director, Zach Morrison, and their board chair, Merrill Harris. And they gave us an update with what's going on at FCSS and their programming. And they also were there to discuss the Hub building. So currently, the Hub has what's known as a community room. And previously, they also had the Coaldale and District Emergency Services and the Town of Coaldale's Emergency Operations Center in that building. And the EOC was moved over to the fire hall upon completion of the new addition. It's located on the second floor. And now that that space is empty, and then in the community room, council had their council chamber set up there for the last couple of years or a year and a half. I can't remember the exact length of time. During the pandemic, we used that large space that between members of council, we could have our social distancing. So now that we're moved back into council chambers, that space is available, and FCSS is looking at the possibility of leasing the remaining space at the Hub building. Currently, they have 10 staff members. They're looking at hiring 6 more for Coaldale. And as part of that, they're going to be centralizing the services to the Hub. So that includes closing down a couple other locations and moving them to Coaldale. Part of that, there's currently the community room that I brought up. That's important to council in the sense that we always have community groups looking for usable space to run their own programming. And so that space, if FCSS takes over the Hub, will remain to be used by community groups, and that would be the bookings would happen through FCSS as well, and that space would be available in the evenings and weekends. So that's something that administration and council are working on right now. Then we had a public hearing regarding a bylaw proposing to redesignate the lands legally described as Lot 3, Block 5, Plan 7710468, and the civic address, which is simpler, is 1205 18th Avenue, from its current commercial designation to industry. And this particular agenda item, I recused myself. I left council chambers because I have a family member that's involved in that. So council ultimately passed second and third reading to make that land use bylaw amendment. Then we had our CFO and Deputy CAO Kyle Beauchamp give us a staff report on the 2022 property tax bylaw, and for second and third reading, that was amended from the first reading that we did back in May 9th. And the bylaw was presented as amended from first reading, as there is a slight change in the tax rates. This is based a change in the tax rates from annexed properties in Lethbridge County, which have now been finalized, and a summary of changes were presented. So after Kyle did his presentation, we set the property tax bylaw, and it's a little bit better for the residential side than we first anticipated. When we first started talking about this, the anticipated tax rate for residential was going to be at 1.72, and it's going to be now at 1.35% increase. And that includes the municipal levy, the educational requisition, Green Acres requisition, which we have no say in the matter, and the recreation tax levy that everyone gets taxed $10 a month. So with all that being said and all in, it's a 1.35% tax increase. And for a resident in Coaldale that has a home in the $300,000 range, that means a $42.90 increase. On the non-residential commercial, the tax rate went up to 3.24%. Again, 3.24. And then on the industrial side, the combined property tax levy went up to 6.86%. So that was passed last night. So we need to get our tax notices in the mail here before the end of May. Then we had our Director of Operational Services, Justin McPherson, present on the Town of Coaldale's solid waste bylaw to provide residents the ability to request second bins for each of the solid waste streams. So myself personally and other members of council, we have received emails, phone calls regarding number one, the black bin, because it's picked up bi-weekly. That so every 2 weeks the garbage gets picked up, and people say that they need to have that happen more often. So the only way that we could have had it across the board so that everybody's garbage gets picked up weekly, we would have had to increase the monthly fee for that, and that was going to be like $2 a month for every residence in Coaldale, which I felt wasn't fair, and other members of council felt the same way. So that anybody that's on fixed income, that's not fair to them. If they're able to get away with one bin, and then so be it. Like why put the onus on people that are able to do that? And I totally understand with large families that some people create more garbage than others. So with all that being said, we decided to make it available now that if you wanted a second garbage bin, a second compost bin, or a second recycling bin, that's going to be doable now. So then you have to phone the town office, and if you want to get either one of those bins, it's going to be a $125 deposit for the bin itself. And then for garbage, you'll pay a monthly rate, an additional rate of $11.50. For compost, $9, and for recycling, $9. So that should take care of anybody that is looking for more capacity. And the town currently has an additional 50 garbage bins, 60 compost bins, and 25 recycling bins available. And the operations department normally keeps at least 20 of each in stock for the new development. So if there's a large number of residents that request more bins, then we would have to create a wait list while we fill the bin orders. And we adjusted the bylaw, the utility rate bylaw, to reflect the changes that I just discussed. Then we had our CFO, Kyle Beauchamp, present again regarding a report or a request of council to formally approve the cancellation tax related to the volunteer firefighter tax credit for those who meet the associated requirements. So back in January of 2020, there was a motion passed, approved by council for the creation of a volunteer firefighter tax credit that includes volunteer firefighters who own and occupy a principal residence in Coaldale, and businesses who own property in Coaldale and provide paid release time to volunteer firefighters that they employ. So the amount for the credit is a sliding scale based on the number of volunteer hours, with the maximum credit for an individual is $1,000 and $2,000 for a business. So one business that we have in Coaldale that has several firefighters is Intercontinental Truck Body. So during the day, if there's a fire call that comes in, and I'm not sure of the current amount, but back when I was the deputy fire chief, we had 3-4 people that worked at ITB that were members of the Coaldale Fire Department. and they would drop what they're doing to leave to go help at a fire that either happens in the town of Coaldale or in the county of Lethbridge. And ITB would not deduct wages for these members to go out and help their fellow citizens. So because of that, we appreciate businesses willing to do that. So again, based on the sliding scale, a business can get up to $2,000 tax forgiven, and then the individual firefighter can get up to $1,000 forgiven. So that was passed last night, that council approved the cancellation of taxes for residents and businesses that have qualified for the volunteer firefighter tax credit. And the amount that was forgiven was $31,400. Then we had our CFO present to council a financial update for the first quarter of 2022 for the period that ended in end of March 31st. And Kyle gave a very in-depth report, and I'm not going to go through it as part of this video, but I'll have the agenda package link in the comment section. And there's a wealth of information, and you'll be happy to hear that Coaldale is sitting in a very, very positive financial situation. Then we had our Director of Growth and Investment, Cameron Mills, give us a comparative financial analysis for 2021, and basically it was to provide council and the community with the town's 2021 comparative analysis. This document provides interested parties with key benchmarks related to the town's financial performance. So all of the information in the report presented came from publicly available high quality sources, namely audited and published financial statements or information published by the federal or provincial government, such as the province's Equalized Assessment Report. And there was 5 benchmarks that were discussed: operating expenses, taxation and assessment, assessment growth, population growth, and executive compensation. And this is a very unique undertaking. Coaldale was the first municipality to prepare this type of report, and to the administration's knowledge, only one other community, which was Raymond, has since undertaken the exercise. Council and administration believe it provides its residents, businesses, and potential investors with a well-rounded snapshot of the community's overall performance. So that was presented last night by Cameron, and it was ultimately passed for information. Then we had Cameron present on a separate item, planning as far as planning and development goes. And as part of that planning and development, he gave us the 2022 development summary up until the end of March. So the value of all development permits taken out up until the end of March was $3,043,000, with a total of 32 permits issued. So Coaldale is open for business, and this is another indication that we definitely are, and that it's going very well. Then under correspondence, we had a letter from our Minister of Municipal Affairs, Rick McIver, and this letter was, and I'll just read a paragraph. In a letter dated May 17, 2021, I notified the town that the Municipal Accountability Program review would be conducted in the summer of 2021, and that the town's response to the resulting report would determine the next steps. The portion of the review has occurred, and I appreciate the town's cooperation. The town provided a detailed response and has until October 8th of 2022 to resolve the legislative gaps identified in the Municipal Accountability Program report. And So basically it's housekeeping items, and it was a good exercise for the town of Coaldale. And this is a result of the municipal inspection that I'm sure everybody knows that I was involved with. The municipal affairs wouldn't grant that, but the municipal accountability program was the second best thing that could be done for Coaldale. The other information item was the minutes from the Emergency Advisory Committee. And then we also had the minutes from the Barons Rika Warner Family Community Support Services. And that was it for the open portion of the meeting. And again, I'll have the agenda package as part of the comments after this video. And if you have any questions, concerns, I'll have my contact information, my phone number, my email. Please reach out to me. If you see me on the street, stop me, we'll have a conversation. And then also do me a favor, if you think these videos are a good idea to keep people up to speed with what's going in kind of a Reader's Digest version, please like them, share them, and leave comments, because that'll help get the word out. So again, thank you and have a great day. Take care.